Right, we should be live. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get this started right now. All right. Do I have my settings set for 720? I do. Okay, cool. Just need to make sure that's all squared away. Yeah. Talking about travel. Come join the YouTube live stream. Cool. All right. And then let's try to I'm going to try to get this out to the WhatsApp group I'm in too. Why not, man? Why not? Gotta get my name out there somehow, you know what I mean? It's a tough world, man. Oh yeah, let me add my Wi-Fi. That would probably help my connection. All right. Let's see. We have a couple people tuning in, so thank you guys for coming out to the stream so far. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to share it to this WhatsApp group I'm in. My travel to Vietnam in a couple weeks. Come hang out if you want. Share your travel experiences. Cool. All right, but anyways, welcome everybody. Anybody who's coming into the stream. I mean, we only got one guy in here so far, but welcome anyways. So I just kind of want to make this little live stream just to kind of convey my thoughts and feelings to the inevitable fact that, you know, I'm going to be moving to Vietnam in a little over 2 weeks now. I think it's, let me just double check here. It is approximately 17 days until I fly out. Now it's going to take like another 2 days on top of that before I'm actually there in terms of time zone differentials, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. But the inevitable fact is that time frame is coming super quick. Let me move my monitor a little bit too. Whoa, not that high. All right, I kind of like the original angle a little bit better. That's cool. But yeah, man, I mean, that's the inevitable fact. Like I'm going to be moving to Vietnam in a couple of weeks. So that's happening. It's happening. Dead Gaming 2.5. What's going on, brother? How you doing? You said, wait, what's going on? Well, I mean, if you don't already know, if you've looked on my YouTube channel previously, you can see that I've mentioned that I'm moving to Vietnam, and that's what's going on. I'm moving in 2 weeks now. So I'm just kind of making a little live stream just to kind of let everybody know, hey, it's coming up. If you want to talk about traveling, ask me any questions regarding to Vietnam, because I've done so much research into it at this point. It's kind of like I'm not an expert because I haven't even been there yet, but it's like I know so much going into it that I feel like I can confidently answer anybody's questions that they may have regarding the travel aspect of what I'm doing. So if you guys got any questions, I know there's about 5 people watching the stream now. Make sure you hop in the comment section below. Ask your questions. Ask me literally anything, guys. I mean, you can ask me about how my day was. You can ask, I mean, ask anything, man. I just want to see that you guys are in the chat. You guys are engaging. If not, though, it's cool. You know, just chill out, have a good time, enjoy the stream. We're just here to talk about whatever, you know, and just talking about, again, my mentality of moving out to Vietnam here very soon. What's going on, Darnell? How you doing, brother, man? How you doing, bro? Welcome to the stream, homie. Good to see Darnell. He's super awesome, dude. He's in the WhatsApp group that I'm in, Ace's WhatsApp group. Shout out to Ace also. I don't think he'll be watching this stream, but shout out to Ace. He's a great guy. Super nice dude. He's traveling in Thailand right now. He's in Pattaya, or as some people call it Pattaya. And he is been out there for a little over a month now, and I think he's extended his visa. So I know he has plans on coming back to Vietnam, and I'd like to meet him as well. But he's been to quite a few places in Southeast Asia already, in terms of the travel aspect. So I hope to see more parts of Thailand from him, but we'll see how that goes. Joe Philly says, congratulations on the move. Where are you moving to? I'm moving to Hanoi, Vietnam. If you look on my channel, bro, you will be able to find some information. Let me see if I can find the link for it, actually. Let me see if I can bring this up. Okay. I'm going to put this in the chat so that way you guys could see. Here's a link right there. So if you guys want to check out that video, if you haven't already seen it, this is kind of my in-depth why I'm moving to Vietnam kind of situation. And you'll be able to see more information there and watch the video. So yeah, it's pretty great. And then we also have Darnell saying, are you ready to leave? Dude, I'm so excited, man. It's a little nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. When you're so comfortable being in your own country and, you're so used to the daily grind of life. I know that I've talked to you guys in the WhatsApp group before, and we've called it the Matrix Zone. And honestly, bro, that's what it's been feeling like. I'm too comfortable with it. I'm ready to just get out and start exploring. So I'm nervous, but I'm totally ready to go. So I'm very excited. Anna May said, did you find an apartment already in Vietnam? I have not found an apartment yet. What my plan is I'm going to be staying there for 3 days at a hotel initially. And during that period of time, because I can't just fly there and then immediately get moved into an apartment the same night, because I get there at like 6 p.m. That's just not going to be doable for me. So I've already got a hotel booked, and I'm going to be there for 3 days. And then during that time, I'm going to find an apartment. And guys, the cost of rent in Vietnam is super cheap. I can assure you that if you've not been to Southeast Asia or ever researched into it, it's very cheap to live there. Vietnam's no exception. I think Philippines would be a little higher, just depending where you live, and probably Thailand would be a little higher too, but Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, very cheap to live in. So if you're ever thinking about moving to Southeast Asia, particularly, now if you're talking about like Korea, Japan, and China, that could be a whole different situation in itself. But if we're talking about Southeast Asia, it's still very cheap to live there. Ted Gaming 2.5 said, so if you're moving to Vietnam, what you gonna say when you get up in the morning? Good morning, Vietnam. Maybe just as a meme, I'll say it a couple times, man. Maybe I'll just say good morning, Vietnam, a couple times, like pull a little Robin Williams or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Joe says, I know you're excited to go. Woo! I'm so excited. Let's go. I'm very excited, baby. Like, I'm ready to just get up. I'm ready to just like pack my shit and go right now. Like, I can't do that obviously, but like, that's how bad I want to get going right now. I just got out of work. So I have one more day of work, which is Monday next week. And I'm done, dude. I'm done with work. So I mean, I'm ready to get going for sure. After Monday, I have a flight at like 1 a.m. Monday night to fly to Florida. I'm going to see my family for like a week and a half. And after that, I'm going to be flying back after like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks of travel there. And I'll only be back here in Vegas for like a day and a half. And that's just for me to finalize everything. After that day and a half, I'm flying to Vietnam, guys. So it's coming up real quick. Joe Philly says, cool. I've heard great things about Hanoi. Checked out AA's Live's videos from there. Just came back from, Dominican Republic, I assume. Looking at Da Nang. Yeah, Da Nang is actually a pretty hip place from what I've seen. That's more of a centralized Vietnamese city. Excuse me. I would like to visit Da Nang. When I get to Hanoi initially, I really want to go to Ha Long Bay, and I want to see what it's like there. After a little bit of time in Ha Long Bay, I definitely want to travel south. I want to hit Da Nang up. I want to see what it's like there. It's like a quaint little, like city. It's like a mini metro city. And then obviously I have to go to Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. I mean, it's inevitable that I go to the biggest city in Vietnam. But I chose Hanoi specifically because some people might be curious as to maybe why I chose Hanoi. I chose it just because of the fact that it's colder in the winter. Right now in Hanoi, it's probably nice. It's about 8 almost 9 a.m. there in Hanoi right now. I could show you guys the differences in weather. So here's Ho Chi Minh City. I don't know how well you guys can see that. It's about 83 degrees, and we're using Fahrenheit here until I get there, and I'll have to inevitably use Celsius and try to get used to that. And Hanoi, though, right now it's 77, so it's actually a bit nicer. It's going to get up to about 84. The humidity is pretty high right now. It's 66%. But this is just kind of like a breakdown of like how it is in Hanoi going towards the fall months. I mean, yeah, that's a little warm. So don't get me wrong, upper 80s, that's pretty warm. Even low 80s is a little warm. But it starts cooling down even more during the winter months, and it actually can get pretty bone-chilling cold from what I've been told. You can actually get rain and cold weather at the same time, and that's got to create some pretty maybe not fun weather for some people. For me, I'm used to that though, man. So I'm ready for it. I don't know. I think I'm excited to do that. And then Mike Hunt asks, do you have a job lined up yet? Mike, I don't have a job lined up quite yet. One big thing and I've mentioned this in Ace's interview that he did with me on moving to Vietnam. I can only tell you guys that it's so crucial that you follow like a Facebook page or something like that. Follow one for like renting an apartment, renting a place, and then one for jobs. And I can promise if you do that, you'll get a job just like that. I mean, you really will. I mean, it's super easy. If you're a foreigner that your first language is English, especially for us American guys, any of you guys who are American in the chat, which is probably everybody pretty much, you're going to get a job almost instantly just because you're a native English speaker. They love Americans there. And I promise you can get a job like super fast. It's not a problem there in Vietnam. And like I said, really important. Try to follow some Facebook pages if you can, guys. Maybe again, I think the two most important ones are for English teaching jobs, because English teaching is inevitable in terms of viable career paths in Vietnam. That's going to be the go-to job if you move out to Southeast Asia, especially a place like Vietnam. You definitely are going to want to be teaching English. There is other job opportunities. And again, most of you guys probably know who Ace is. Again, if you don't know who Ace is, he's essentially a travel YouTube vlogger. I did an interview with him on his channel. He's almost 20,000 subscribers now, I think. He's getting up there. So shout out to Ace again. But he did an interview with me because he knows I'm traveling to Vietnam. He's been there. He's been through a lot of Vietnam, actually, which I'm pretty jealous of. But he was interviewing a DJ that is, I think, from Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you guys could quote me on that. But I believe he was African, and he's a DJ at one of the nightclubs, one of the first foreign DJs. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal, honestly. So those jobs are out there. They're certainly going to be more difficult than if you want to teach English. If you want to teach English, you almost got a job just like that. As long as I would really strongly recommend, first of all, have your TEFL certificate, which it's not that hard to get your TEFL. If you go to something like Groupon.com, for example, I could even go there right now. So I'll go to Groupon. I don't think this is going to show up for anybody on stream. I'm going to try to share it, but I don't think it will. Nah. It's not going to show up. But if you guys know Groupon. If you go to Groupon and you type in TEFL, you'll find super discounted like TEFL training certificates on here, and make sure they're accredited. I mean, it doesn't matter too much. They're not going to, I really don't think they're going to look so like specifically at the accreditation for that training in Vietnam, but it is important. Just make sure you try to get one that's accredited. For me personally, I use TEFL Full Circle, and right now it's $40. If you were to just go to the website and do the training itself, it's $315. So you can imagine an 87% differential. I think it's a no-brainer to use Groupon. So if you want to do the exact same one as me, I did Groupon and I did TEFL Full Circle. And I actually have my certificate. It's in my closet, but I have my certificate for it. So, I mean, it's definitely doable. And like I said, that's the easiest way you're going to get a job if you go to Southeast Asia or a lot of other countries. If you want to, like find an easy job and their first language is in English, teaching is probably the way to go. But also it's important just make sure that you're looking into the requirements. what kind of visas you need, what kind of other exterior requirements, if you need a degree, other stuff like that. That's a whole nother topic on its own. I could just go on and on about English teaching, but yeah, make sure you have your TEFL and try to also have your business visa. If you don't have a business visa, you might have a lot harder time finding a job because of that legal criteria as well. Degree is required under certain circumstances, but honestly, the degree thing is so loose ended. Like, you can find so many jobs still without having to have a degree. So you guys really don't have to worry about that. I can assure you on that one. Let's see. Let's jump in the comments here. And Dead Gaming 2.5 says, English teaching sounds like VIP Kids. My mom works at VIP Kids. She teaches Chinese kids English. And that's excellent. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. And China is also a very popular destination to teach English as well. Really, anywhere in Asia is just, it's really popular teaching English. Now, if you're going to go to a place like Korea or Japan, I think the requirements are going to be a bit more strict, and you're not going to have as easy of a job, easy of an opportunity to get a job in those countries. Probably, first of all, just because they're so developed, they probably already have many other people doing it, including their own citizens. So what's the point of having foreigners there? But also, again, because it's just such a developed country, and, you know, both of those countries are so developed. I don't think it would be overall easy to find too many good jobs when, again, their citizens can do it for them. So I don't know, but Southeast Asia, South America, probably very, very easy places. I'm sure Africa too. China is also great. A lot of great opportunities still. I mean, don't just limit yourself, you know. And then when you actually live in Southeast Asia or you live in these other countries, I mean, you have other great opportunities to travel to the other nearby countries that maybe you wanted to live in, but it was a little harder to do so, whether it's visa requirements, job requirements, whatever the case might be. You're still getting that travel aspect, guys. You're getting out of the matrix zone. You know what I mean? You don't have to be stuck in your country that you're in. So I don't know. That's just a little bit of my perspective on that one. This is a good one from Renegade Biker. I didn't read the whole thing, but he said, make sure you know the customs or traditions when going to Vietnam. You don't want to end up like what happened to Michael Fay in Singapore and got canned. So I don't know about that story. I didn't look into that, but I will say that it is really important to ensure that you're very familiar. At least, I mean, okay, so I mean, if you're not going to do it in America, why are you going to do it in another country? You know what I mean? That just, you first and foremost, you should just be a decent human being. I think that just goes without saying. I think all of you guys could agree with me on that. You should just be a decent human being to people that you talk to. You know what I mean? Don't be a dick. You know what I mean? I think that's just first and foremost common sense. Don't be a dick, especially to the local people of the other country. You decided to invite yourself as a guest to their country. You're a foreigner to them. They could kick you out just like that. And also, a lot of these countries, Southeast Asia, they're communist countries, right? So the laws are a bit different there. One thing I can absolutely just to be on the safe side, period. Do not bring up politics. Do not, revolt against their political beliefs. Do not, revolt against their, leadership. I think that's just common sense in general. In America, you can get away with that so easily because we have our freedom of speech. Those countries, you don't necessarily have that freedom of speech. The only reason why Hong Kong is like that is because it's not a communist part of China. It's separated from the rest of mainland China, which is under communism, which is why they're revolting, because they want to keep their freedom in Hong Kong, be able to have that freedom of speech. And that's why they are becoming, they are rioting, they're protesting, all this stuff. So, but apart from that, like, just use common sense. Don't be a dick. Just be good. Be nice to the people. They're extremely friendly in Vietnam, but all over Southeast Asia, they're beautiful, wonderful people. And I haven't even been there yet, guys. But I talk to a lot of friends on my phone from Vietnam and other countries, and they're just wholesome people. And you can see it in Ace's video too when he's doing videos out there. I mean, they're just wholesome, genuine people. So, just have some common sense. And thank you guys so much. 10 plus people already in the stream. That really means a lot to me. I want to do more of these live streams. When I get out to Vietnam, I'm definitely going to be vlogging. You guys are going to see the vlogs out there. And then I'm definitely going to do my research out there. I'm going to do more live streams, and you guys can ask even more questions that you may have from there. So super looking forward to that. This is a good question from Mike Hunt. He asks, "Do you have to know Vietnamese to teach English there?" Actually, you don't need to know any Vietnamese. That sounds kind of crazy to think about, right? But you don't actually need to know it, and I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. First of all, the majority of the time when you're teaching English in that country, you're going to be teaching kids, young kids, usually up to middle school. You might be getting an opportunity to teach high schoolers or college level or other adults, maybe. Um, but the fact of the matter is especially the younger kids, they actually are more involved with social media and the overall use of English language. And even if they're not, they'll pick up on it a lot quicker than some of the older people will. And I mean, that's how it is. Teenagers, especially, I mean, they pick up on social media super quick. I mean, I talk to girls that are I'm 24, and I talk to girls that are maybe a couple years younger than me or around my age. Their English is very good for the most part because they're surrounded by it. So I feel like when you include yourself in teaching English to them, they pick up on it super quick. But on top of that, it's very basic English. You're not having full fluent conversations with them because, of course, nobody's going to really understand that unless they're already a fluent English speaker. But essentially, I mean, it's just basic English that you're teaching. But on top of that, the second thing to mention is that you'll most likely have a teaching assistant too. I've seen in so many videos of people who have TEFL training certificates who are English teachers in those countries. They have they have teaching assistants with them that could speak Vietnamese to the class if it's needed. So I'm certainly not worried about it. I do speak very few words in Vietnamese, and I'm working on my pronunciation. I actually posted in the WhatsApp group a few days ago me going through some of my notes, writing out notes, and learning the language. So it's definitely doable. Excuse me. But you really need to practice a lot if you want to get fluent in that kind of language, because Vietnamese is not an easy language. I'll tell you that right now. But anyways, I don't want to ramble about that. But yeah, just basically to answer it, no, you don't need to know Vietnamese to teach English there. So, and then Mike also asks, when are you going to start posting Patreon content? So if you go to my Patreon, which I'm going to bring it up and I'll post it in the stream too. Thank you everyone who's tuned in the stream though, by the way. I really appreciate everyone being here. But if you guys go to my Patreon, which I'll post right there in the chat, I've already posted one video in there. It's just basically a thank you video for, coming to the Patreon. But I'm actually officially going to be posting to the Patreon once I get to Vietnam. It'll be probably my first video that I post when I'm traveling there. So the first vlog will probably go up on Patreon initially, and then I'll advertise a little bit like, hey, come check out my Patreon if you want to see the first vlog before it goes on YouTube. I'll probably wait a couple days and then it'll go up to my YouTube channel. And in the meantime, I'll also be recording for additional YouTube videos. So yeah, I'm definitely Patreon. There's stuff coming there very soon. I really hope people will get an opportunity to check that out. Excuse me. I wouldn't mind having like some kind of little group chat myself, kind of like I don't want to feel like I'm copying him, but it's a great way to like involve the community. But I really like, especially if I start growing larger, I don't think I necessarily want my number to be out there. So I'm thinking I might have like a more secure way of like inviting people to a little chat room or something. Patreon's great to connect with people in terms of posting updates, but I also want to have like a secondary thing, and I'll figure it out eventually. But right now, Patreon's like the go-to place. So if you guys want to, again, check out the Patreon, I'll post it in the chat one more time, and you guys can see that. I think my mom's in the chat. Jesus. Yeah, okay. All right, real funny. Anyways, my mom's stupid. Jimmy Reed says, good luck, buddy. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you. I remember you being back in the chat before, man. I know you were talking about your travel experience through Vietnam, too, I believe. I think you were here in Vegas at that time, too, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to Jimmy. Renegade Biker says, when I was in the Navy, I went to ports of call, like Hong Kong, Dubai, and other countries. I was told that whatever you do while you're on ports of call, that you would need to act like you were an ambassador. Yeah, I can understand that, definitely. And again, I think this just goes back to, I think it just goes back to being a decent person too. And I mean, especially, being a foreigner, you really need to You really need to ensure that, especially if you're going to live in the country, act like you're part of the country, be involved with it. Don't act like you're totally different. Of course, you're going to be totally different. You're this tall ass white guy, 6'6" in the middle of an Asian country. It's like everybody's going to notice that. But it's important to like involve yourself as much as you can with the culture, being just generally friendly with people, respecting their beliefs, not causing too much chaos. And I think you'll be okay. I mean, I think I'll be okay just based off of that mentality. I think other people have been okay with that mentality. Don't pick fights. Just be a decent person. I think that's really important. Mike also said, do you use any apps or online tools to learn Vietnamese? So there is an app that I sometimes have used. I'm going to look for it here. It's called Drops. You guys could check it out. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone, actually, now that we're talking about it. So, yeah, so it's called Drops. I have it open right here, and you can learn, multiple different things like food and drinks. You can learn travel talk. I'm sorry, it's very hard to do this while I'm holding it up to my camera. Foundational words, the essential words. There's just a lot of stuff that you can go over and learn the basics of Vietnamese. Now, if you want to be fluent in any language, I think it's just so crucial that you talk to the local people, because there's only so much that you could try to pronounce based off an app or a website. It's really important to hear that word repeatedly through a local, and then they're live face to face. That's the best way, is face to face, in my opinion. And you can learn that word by repeating it, using it in real life situations, being surrounded by the language. That's the best way to learn, and I think most of you would agree with that. So, yeah, anyways, we got 8 people in the chat. I know we were up to 11 at one point. So everybody, tell your friends to come check out my thing, except my mom. I don't want my mom to share it, because then if my other family sees it too, it's going to be embarrassing. But if anyone else wants to share my live stream, you guys can go ahead and do that. Here's the, hold on. Let me see if I can find the link. Here's the link right here. So if you guys want to share that to anybody, if you got any friends who are interested in travel, got any general questions about travel, definitely share that. And I'm definitely more than happy to answer any questions. So, oh my God, my mom is so embarrassing. I don't even know what I was going to say. I just got distracted. But yeah, anyway, so we're just talking about anything generally travel wise. So again, if you guys are just coming into the stream, I am moving to Vietnam in about 2 weeks, which I think I already said the specific amount of days earlier during the stream. 17 days, so about 2 weeks, 3 days. Monday next week's my last day of work, and that Monday night I'm traveling to Florida to see my family, which my mom's in the chat embarrassing me. And I'm going to see them for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and I'm flying back here for about a day and a half, and then I'm heading out to Vietnam. So that's going to be great. Jimmy said, like your mom's sense of humor. She always does that, man. She always does that. I mean, it's great my mom's supportive, but Jesus, it's embarrassing when my family watches any of my content, because it's like trying to be myself is a little awkward sometimes. So, yeah, but yeah, again, so if you guys have any questions, oh my God, if you guys got any questions, just let me know in the chat. If you guys are coming in, let me know if you guys have any travel experience too. I know Jimmy's been to Vietnam. I think Renegade Biker said that he's been to multiple countries. I mean, that's awesome. He's been to a lot of countries. When you're in something like the Navy, which I wanted to do that when I was younger, but I just never pushed for it. And looking back at it now, I'm kind of happy I didn't, because I feel more free as a result of things I could do right now. I think if I was in the military, I feel like I would have had even better opportunities for travel and pay wise, especially if I were to retire from the military, which that would take a long time. But, getting like a paycheck every month would be kind of nice too after retirement. But anyways, I was going to say, yeah. So if you guys have any, travel experience, let me know. Let me know if you guys have any advice for me that, to those who have been in Vietnam. I feel like I've confidently done enough research where I could say I know what to expect, but as I've always mentioned before, you truly don't know what to expect when you get there. I think it's just one of those things that you really You really have to just go there and experience it. I feel like Australia, for example, when I went to Australia younger, when I was 19, my parents gave me a great opportunity to go out there. But when I went out to Australia, I kind of knew what to expect prior to going there, but I truly didn't know until I was actually there. And when I actually got there, it was mind blowing. Like thinking that you're on another part of the planet away from a place that you called home to now be in this place that's completely foreign to you. And don't get me wrong, like everybody in Australia, they know how to speak English. So it wasn't that foreign to me, but it definitely is a weird disconnect thinking that you're on a completely different side of the world where the time is completely different from the other part of the world of where you lived, and trying to adjust to that was quite difficult initially. But looking back on it now, it was the greatest experience I could have ever had. And my mom said it before to me also. She said, I always knew that you had travel in your blood, and that she supported me doing this, which I think is the most important thing. So that's why I decided to move forward with it too. I just feel like that I needed that support factor, people understanding my mentality on traveling. But also, I mean, it's just I think it's just one of those things, like that's how you get to experience life. It's just experiences, man. You know what I mean? It's just about creating new experiences, and I'm really looking forward to it. Dead Gaming 2.5 said, I know I just joined the chat, but I got to go to my sister is getting married tomorrow and I need to get some good sleep. I'll see you guys later. Hey, thanks for tuning in, man. Congratulations to your sister, and hope everything goes well with her. Oh my God, my dad's in the chat now. Jesus. This is gonna be awkward. So Jimmy said he grew up in the country of Florida in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I think I talked to someone about Fort Lauderdale before also, but I don't remember where that's at. I think isn't it on the East Coast of Florida? Let me see. I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't know if that's the West or East Coast. I think it's on the I'm going to see where it's at again. I forgot where it's at. Oh, yeah, it's on the east. It's near Miami. That's right. Okay, yeah, it's right near Miami. It's right next to Hollywood, Florida. Yeah, I know where that's at. I don't think I've been there, but yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, but anyways, anyone else is coming to the stream? Again, I'm just talking about general travel. And I'm losing my voice. I've been talking all day on the phone. But again, I'm just talking about general travel. Anyone who has travel experience, just kind of like talking about that, stories regarding to it. I had a couple of people share their travel experiences, which is really great. And for me, I think travel is easier for me too. And I'm not saying that just because I've been in Australia or anything, but living on the other side of the country away from a place I used to call home in Florida, like being here for 4 years, I feel like it's also helped me immensely, adjust to that. Hold on. Cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I just got a new case for my phone. I had a black case on here, but it was starting to kind of like bend and break a little bit. So I got a new case on here, like a nice clear case, really durable case too. It was kind of expensive. It was like, I think it was like almost $50 if I'm not mistaken, but it's a really solid, like it's like a rubbery clear case, but it's actually like a very like good material. And then I got like a privacy screen protector on here. It's just like a nice little dark, so you see it and then it disappears off to the side. It's pretty nice. My mom has a question. Okay, what's your question? Oh God, I might have to end it after this one. I was gonna end the stream anyway soon. My mom asks, what's your plans after 1 year in Vietnam? I mean, I don't know. I think I told you guys, like, if I'm just interested in being in the country, I want to stay there as long as possible, especially if I get married or something. I don't really want to think about marriage at my age. My sister is, my sister, she's 21 now. She got married just recently, which I was at that wedding. That's just too young for me, man. I don't want to think about that. But like, especially visa situation, like if I want to stay in a country in long term and I love it there and I like the girl I'm with, of course I'd love to get married and I'd love to share my life being there. Well, of course I'm going to see you guys. I already told you I was. Mike also said, what kind of laptop are you bringing with you to Vietnam? It's a Dell laptop. It's an Inspiron. I think it's like a gaming style laptop, but it's not being used for gaming. I chose it based off the CPU and GPU strength. I thought it was a really solid choice overall. So that's why I went with it. So that's the kind of laptop I'm bringing. I'm just bringing a solid Dell laptop and should be good. But yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I mean, I remember shit. I mean, I remember like 4 months ago booking the ticket and everything, and I was like, it's gonna feel like forever, and then it's like June, July, August, September. I mean, it's already October, middle of October. I leave November 3rd. I mean, that's crazy, man. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. So Gaming Bunny says, where's your PC going when you're gone? It's gonna stay with my ex. Because I promised her, I said for a long time, I was like, I want to help her get a computer. I want to help her, but never gone around to it. And I was like, excuse me, Jesus. I thought since I'm moving out of the country anyways, it's like, I don't really want to go through the effort of selling it. I'm certainly not going to bring it with me. I mean, that would be a huge pain in the ass. Can you imagine trying to bring a tower to monitor all this other equipment with you to the other side of the world? No, that's too much. And I wasn't going to sell it either because I thought about my ex like not having that opportunity to be on a computer anymore. And I was like, I'm just going to give it to her. So she's responsible for this. We just paid our third, like, okay, so we have 2 more payments on the computer. She just paid one of them, so she has to pay 2 more. And yeah, she's going to do that. And then once it's paid off, it's hers for sure. It's all paid off. Mike also says, did you put in your 2 weeks notice? Yeah. Oh, of course I did. Yeah. I put that in a while back, like on October 8th. That was like 10 days ago, brother. Like the day before my birthday, I remember putting my 2 weeks notice. And that's when I knew it was real. When I put in my 2 weeks notice, I was like, that's when it really hit me that this was actually happening. I think it's more going to hit me when, I don't even know, man. I don't even feel like it's going to hit me until the minute I get to the airport going to Vietnam. Like I have to go to the airport again this Monday to go to Florida, but even like during Florida and coming back from Florida, even being back here in Vegas for that short day and a half, I don't think it's going to hit me until I actually get into the airport, like get out of my car for the last time and go into the airport and know that I'm going to be on the other side of the world in 34 hours from that point. It's like, I mean, how do you like conceptualize something like that? Like knowing that your last experience in your country is like you're walking into an airport. Like once you're in the airport, that's it. It's going to be airports and airplanes all the way until you're in that new country. I mean, it's a crazy sensation. I there's no words to really explain something like that. Like knowing that your last experience is inside of airports. And then you're on the other side of the world, and it's like you're not coming back. You're not coming back for a long time, anyways. I'm not saying I'm not coming back forever. You know what I mean? That would be totally ridiculous. But it's going to be a while before I come back. It's going to be at least a year, unless YouTube works out really well and I get paid good. And I'm not saying I'm doing it for money, obviously, but I'm just saying that comes with the territory. Like if you do well on YouTube, I would love to create an audience through YouTube, through my experiences of traveling. I think that would be one of the most wholesome things ever. I would love to share my experience with other people. When I got my initial inspiration from other people on YouTube, I want to share those same feelings and inspire other new people to travel out to new countries. I'll tell you guys this: when I was doing the Academy for Trucking, those videos actually got several thousands of views, and there's several people who commented, asking for advice and thanking me for my advice because the information I gave them, they went out and done trucking themselves. And in fact, in a couple of those situations, I clicked on their channels, and they're doing trucking videos now after asking me for advice on trucking for my channel. That really meant the world to me to see something like that. and I want to have those same feelings on YouTube. I think that would be just a great feeling, like knowing that we can make the world a better place. Getting people to get along with each other based off of travel experiences and explore the cultures. Because inevitably, in the end, I think that's the most important thing. Like getting out to other countries, getting to see these new places, getting to see new people. I love meeting new people. I really, I cannot tell you guys how much I love meeting like other cultural people. When it comes to meeting other American people, it's like, yeah, we share the same shit basically. But I do like meeting new people here in America too. Like I like to know where they come from and stuff. But when you get to explore people from other countries, it's like it's a totally different experience. I mean, like being able to talk to people from other countries, it's a totally different experience. I don't know. I have no explanation for it. It's just, I feel like that's what life's about. I think in the end, it's just about experiences and loving other people. I think it's just about being able to be a decent person, talk to other people, get to know where they're from, communicating, just living life together. Everyone's got one life. We're not going to live it for a long time. Why waste it, at a 9-to-5 job at your desk, doing something that you don't like when you're wishing that you could do other things? And for me, I'm actually moving forward and taking the steps to do those things I want to do. So, I mean, I think that's what matters in the end. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of my little go-to about experiences with traveling, talking about travel and stuff like that. If you guys have any final comments, let me know. I'm probably about to end the stream. I just kind of wanted to do a quick little stream. When I start getting the vlogs out, you can expect more streams coming from me too. This microphone, sadly, I won't be bringing with me. This will be staying here. But when I get to Florida, I think I want to go to, I don't know. I want to maybe go to a Best Buy or something and then get like a Blue Yeti or some kind of cheap microphone, like something that sounds good still, but just like something for my laptop, just so I have decent quality. It won't be as good as this. This is XLR. Like this is the greatest. This is the greatest voice you're ever gonna hear on YouTube. Okay, thanks, Mom. My mom said I have nice eyes. It's because of the lighting. And I was just born with beautiful blue eyes, so. All right, Renegade Biker says, as an Uber and Lyft driver, I went to Tulsa about a month ago. That's an interesting city. I've been through Tulsa. And I drove a Vietnamese lady to the Tulsa airport, and she was a great person, probably better than some of the crazy people I pick up. Oh yeah, dude, you just told me you're in Tulsa, so I'm not gonna doubt that one bit. But Vietnamese girls, first of all, beautiful women. Vietnamese women are gorgeous. Any Asian girl is gorgeous, but like Vietnamese women, Chinese women, Thai, okay, they're all beautiful. I can't really pick one, but Vietnamese girls are very beautiful. They're very eloquent. I guess they dress really well, especially in Hanoi, like the big cities. Like they're just beautiful girls. And they're just kind-hearted women too. And I think that's so important, man. Like you don't want to date some girl that's just a total bitch. You know what I mean? Like what's like you're gonna really enjoy life like that when you're just dating some woman that just hates your guts? You don't want that. You don't want to date a woman that's like truly demanding. Of course, every woman's gonna get her way. Like that's what the man's got to do. The man's got to give the woman her way. But when she has to act like she's in control in a negative, condescending way, that's when it's kind of like, am I really happy with this girl? I'm not saying that's what happened in my last relationship or anything. I left for different reasons, but it's about happiness overall, man. You got to be happy with the girl that you're with. You know what I mean? You can't be with a girl that's like just like in control of your life, some psychopath. And I hate to say it, but a lot of the white girls in America are like that. A lot of crazy ones, especially probably the ones from Oklahoma. A lot of them are probably ratchet, probably meth smoking. Oh, Oklahoma, man. I thought about moving to Oklahoma at one point. I wanted to move to Okie City, but that never happened. I don't know why I wanted to move to Oklahoma City. I think I was interested in tornadoes. But then again, the tornadoes, they're actually incredibly scary. Like that's where you get the big EF4, EF5 tornadoes near Oklahoma City. I don't know if I'd want to deal with that. Tulsa too probably gets really bad storms too. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably a pretty bad place for weather. But also I like storms too. So, but anyways, that's getting off track. But anyways, yeah, that's great though, man. Like Vietnamese women are so kind hearted. I actually went to a Vietnamese restaurant yesterday that was next to my ex's work, where I went in. Now none of them were actually Vietnamese. She was from Laos, as some of you guys pronounce it. And I talked to her, and like when I told her I was moving to Asia, she was all over like talking to me about that. She even told me right as I was walking out, she's like, "Come back and talk to me one more time before you leave." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm gonna have to talk to that girl one more time. She was like, I think she was in her early 40s or something. She has a husband. So just before anyone says anything, okay, she has a husband. But the point is like they're just very kind people, very respectful people, very hospitable. That's a truly important aspect about people, especially from Vietnam. They're so hospitable. You don't get. I mean, and if you watch videos from Vietnam and just look at their hospitality, I mean, compared to America, there's just no compare. And I hate to shit on my country because I love America, but it's like the hospitality differences. It's a night and day difference. I promise that in general, Vietnam is so much more hospitable, and you could just see that in every aspect. So, yeah. Yeah, I know I wanted to be a meteorologist when I got older, when I was a kid. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. I wanted to be a pilot, and then I developed anxiety, which is one of the worst things that still affects me to this day. But I've learned to manage it a lot better than I used to. Anxiety sucks, man. You can't control anxiety. It's either there or it's not. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. You can't just like tell yourself like, I'm not going to get anxiety. It's going to happen inevitably. The only thing I can tell people is don't drink a lot of caffeine before bed. Try not to drink a lot of alcohol before bed. I do that still. I still drink alcohol before, like on Saturday nights or something like that. I'll drink, like, and I'll just play games and stuff. I'll have a good time. Yeah, my mom goes to a nail place and there's Vietnamese women there. Yeah, I think a lot of Vietnamese people work in nail places. I don't know why nail places specifically, but it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out here, sharing their experiences with traveling. And again, if you guys have questions, you could also, after the stream's over, there should be a comment section listed below where you can also ask questions. I can follow up to them. I don't know if there's an email thing to reach me by, but I'm going to figure more stuff out once I actually get to Vietnam. I'd like to think I'm already somewhat well established with my social media and trying to move forward with the mentality that I'm already in Vietnam in terms of like how I'm going to start doing things there. But again, it's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be a go as I do kind of thing. But anyways, thank you everybody for coming out to the stream. Really appreciate everyone being out here today, and I'll have to do another one very soon. Probably the next live stream. I don't know for sure if I'll do one right before I go to Vietnam, but if not, for sure when I get to Vietnam, I'll do another live stream, and we'll see how it goes on the laptop that I'm on. I don't know how that's going to play out. I'm hoping to get a decent webcam to still use. So maybe I'll try to take this one low key. We'll see what happens. But anyways, yep. Thank you guys for coming out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace.